Venus, and this is a picture of me on the cover of Spoken Visions magazine. I am an entertainer, a writer, and an educator, and I also do some inspirational speaking, performer, professor, and poet. Poet, most importantly, poet at heart. That's why I'm here today, sending love to all of my fellow poets. Let's keep pushing poetry. Today, I want to share with you why I write and a poem called Sheroes. Maybe I'll end with one other piece depending on the timing. So, I think I'll start with this piece called Why I Write. So, I know that the Creator speaks, and sometimes through me. I find inspiration in everything that I touch, taste, hear, smell, and see. My ego grows weak when I'm staring at that clean slate. Sometimes I have to wait for divine direction. My mission is to stay in the seeker section. I seek to speak the truth. I write to inspire and spread proof. I write to heal. I write to make things tangible and real. I write in the morning, and sometimes I write in the middle of the night. It's those words that turn on the light and get me out of bed. So I've learned to keep a pad and pen near my head. Your average creative artist is a tortured soul. You see, some words are dark, and some have attached gold. Some are bright, bold, and blue. There's even some words that haunt you until you transform their stage. Some words are spicy like rosemary and sage, and it is an ideological compromise. If they told you that metaphors always win, they spread lies. I don't always write to entertain. I write to honor those who came before me, who were slain, those who had to create pen names or be jailed like the insane. I write so that my visions will never be tamed. But I was raised by two roses, and one passed away, and her name is Rosemary. And so when she passed, I wrote this book in 2006 as called Sheroes. And I want to let you know that the word Sheroes has three meanings for me. It means when we fall down, we get back up. It talks of the idea of female heroes versus heroine, calling them heroines. I like to call them sheroes. And of course, it also is a tribute to my mother because she rose. So I want to do that poem for you. And let you know that this book can be found. If you really like this poem, you can find it on Amazon. And you can also find it at my website, venusjones.com. If you like any of my work, please feel free to visit me there. And now I want to share some of my favorite female heroes with you. With the power of her presence and the strength of her fight, her words caused wrinkled men to question slavery. And weary women, they grew imaginary wings for solo flight. Sojourner rose. Sojourner Truth, she rose. Oh, I know why the cage bird sings. Oh my, a landmark of first on a broken wing. Even though she was raped at 7 and a mother at 16, with a past rooted in pain, she said, I rise. And her poetry sings, Maya rose, Maya Angelou, she rose. She stood in muddy water and created clean lines with a clear vision. Hate drew an incision across her beautiful wall of monumental art. And like a veteran soldier in a bulldozing battle, rage surfaced. But it was those ancestress women who led her to pick up the pieces of her beating heart, and Maya rose. Maya Lynn, she rose. She loved one person at a time. Some say she wasn't that divine, but for some she was a steady flame, a pillow for the restless, unwanted, unloved, and poor. I know she fed haunting hunger with her hands, and she opened up the stickiest door. Teresa rose. Mother Teresa, she rose. She was a Union spy with eyes in the back of her head. and over 1,000 crept in footsteps where she lay. She forced them with the gun and said, "Live free or die." Now this female Moses taught them to walk, run, or fly. And Harriet rose. Harriet Tubman, she rose. She was called mentally ill and at worst a traitor and a liar. Now she was grilled in judiciary fire. Levitating above sex books, videotapes, and lies, she helped remove muffles on silent cries. Anita rose. Anita healed. She rose. She said, "Feel what you cannot touch." Now she laughed at the thought of living with a crippling crutch when they said, "You are blind, deaf, and disabled." She couldn't understand their limited view. She proved that she saw, she heard, spoke even like a spiritual guru. Helen rose. Helen Keller. She rose. At 15, she fought back against big rocks, little rock, fireballs, acid attacks. In 1954, angry white mobs were ordered to open up the school door to blacks. And there was no after-class play with a bounty on your head. Dignity, just like freedom, it's a state of mind, her grandmother said. And Melba rose. Melba Beale, she rose. Now she is floating on air in a silver spacesuit with a fearless smile. She holds 3 degrees in hand, and they seek to clone her mental style. This rising star brings blueprints to the Peace Corps, and she measures the strength and the length of courage and mental vigor. May rose. Mae Jemison. She rose. She sang of rotting bodies in America's very first protest song. Her life short, and the scar left on those soundtracks, lingering and long. Strange Fruit would be read on the Congress floor because of the love that she blew into an open sore. Billie rose. Billie Holiday, she rose. She didn't spend time plucking her brows, knowing that inner beauty grows. In a big, bright Mexican dress, she rebelled with art that tangled on toes. Her campus celebrates a life of broken bones, fruits, and a thick thorn. She lived a life full of authentic expression in her search to be reborn. Frida rose. Frida Kahlo, she rose. A humane example before she took a stand by keeping her seat. She rose despite the risk of a thrashed skull and dangling feet. Rosa rose. Rosa Parks, she rose. Lena Horne, Bessie Coleman, Angela Davis, Dolores Huerta, Toni Morrison, Ida B. Wells, Shirley Chisholm, Oprah Winfrey, Fannie Lou Hamer, Barbara Jordan, Eleanor Roosevelt, Mary McLeod Bethune. Each one a rose among thorns, every vision in full bloom. And if we were an ancient Kemet, Nefertiti would have granted them tombs. But the thankless are more than a few. You see, my mama rose, and your mother rose, giving birth to something new. They rose like blossoming babies, budding freshly formed leaves, quenching the taste of light, morning dew. And I need each and every one of them to remind me there is a shero in me, and there is a shero in you. So that is my poem called Sheroes. And I think I want to end by saying Black Lives Matter and Black voices matter. You obviously know that, or I wouldn't be here today, so I thank you. And I want to end with this piece because I know that colorism is still real, not just in the Indian community, but also in my own. And we know that that stems from divide and conquer. That stems from colonialism. And I think things are changing. So I want to give a shout out to Miss Haran, I used to be a model as well, commercial model, and I loved her Black Lives Matter statement about Fair and Lovely and how she also didn't always feel so fair because life isn't always fair. So I want to read this piece because it speaks a little bit to what we're all healing from. And one of the ways I've healed the most is by learning to love my hair and my skin, even when it's not always easy every day. And I'm not even as dark as some. My hair isn't as kinky as others. But if I feel this way, imagine how others feel because of the impact of racism across the globe and anti-Blackness. But this piece is for any person who's listening who felt like their skin was too dark or their hair not good enough. This piece is called Good Hair. She said God don't like ugly. Does that mean that God don't like me? Because God must have been joking when my hair was made nappy. Wait, someone says God don't make mistakes. God seems to think that diversity is great. Yet my culture is still in a process debate. Because straight is still considered good. And kinky curls are bad, they bring self-hate. So sometimes I long for hair that stretches long, and even eyes of light sea blue when God made my eyes and skin rich with melanin, deep and mysterious as his midnight sky too. But I'm still healing. Remember those messages that I've been told, all those advertising messages that often make my natural beauty feel cold. But I've learned to embrace the coolness of my natural shade when I notice that God loves my grade. My crown is similar to the trees. Oh, that's when I realized I no longer felt the need to please those who stare with a confused glare saying, are you mixed? You have good hair. Now, my grandma used to say, it used to be good, but now it looks like muda grass. And I always wanted to say, well, that's what makes it last. My hair is resistant. My hair is strong. My hair is right. And it could never be wrong. It can take braids, chemicals, waves, and weaves. And that's a lot for the bored or the political naive. Now, I may want to flip on, sew on, or press on for fashion's sake. That'll be a day when I'm feeling free to relate. Somebody say, how free? As free as a natural blonde and a dashiki in plates. Truth is, I'm still having good hair and bad hair debates. But my hair is all good, even in its most natural and nappiest state. Thank you for listening. My name is Venus Jones, and may you all rise to your fullest potential with love and light. Peace and poetry.